Welcome to Audiobooks Vault. In this video, we will summarize the book The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Let's start. Introduction. Imagine wielding the power to influence, manipulate, and control the course of events around you with just your words, actions, and presence. In The 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene unlocks the secrets of power dynamics that have shaped history, from ancient monarchies to modern corporate empires. Drawing on timeless strategies used by the world's greatest leaders, military commanders, and thinkers, Greene provides a masterclass in understanding human behavior, manipulation, and the art of persuasion. This book is not just about gaining power, it's about understanding the forces at play in every interaction and using them to your advantage. Each of the 48 laws is a weapon, honed over centuries of strategic thinking, designed to help you navigate the complex maze of human relationships, whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, leading a team, or simply seeking to gain influence in your everyday life. But the 48 Laws of Power isn't just about playing nice, it's a ruthless and pragmatic guide to outsmarting opponents, mastering social dynamics, and achieving success. From subtle psychological tricks to bold, audacious moves, Greene teaches you how to outwit your rivals and become an irresistible force in any situation. If you're ready to learn how power works and how to command it, then this book will show you the way, whether you want to dominate or simply thrive in a world where power is the ultimate currency. First law. Never outshine the master. This law stresses the importance of discretion when dealing with those in positions of power. Superiors often have fragile egos, and showing off your talents or intelligence too openly can make them feel overshadowed or insecure. Even if your intentions are good, making them look or feel inadequate can lead to resentment or hostility. To avoid this, always make your superiors feel important and in control. Praise their achievements subtly and let them bask in their success while you remain in the background, building your own foundation quietly. A superior who feels respected and appreciated will be more inclined to support you, while one who feels threatened may seek to diminish or eliminate you. Second law. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Friendship often carries expectations and emotional baggage, making it unreliable in professional or competitive environments. Friends may feel entitled to your trust or take liberties, while enemies, having something to prove, can become surprisingly loyal allies. This law highlights the importance of pragmatism over sentimentality in relationships. Treat alliances as tools for achieving your goals rather than as emotional bonds. For example, a former adversary who wishes to mend relations may work harder to gain your trust than a friend who might exploit your generosity. By assessing people based on their utility rather than their personal connection to you, you maintain control and avoid unnecessary betrayal. Third law. Conceal your intentions. Openness often breeds vulnerability. Sharing your plans or desires too openly allows others to interfere, outmaneuver, or exploit you. Instead, create an air of mystery around your actions. By deliberately concealing your true intentions, you keep people guessing, making it difficult for them to counteract your plans. This strategy not only safeguards your objectives, but also gives you the element of surprise, allowing you to maintain control over situations. Distraction is a key tactic here. By diverting attention to minor, unrelated details, you can mislead others while working toward your real goals in the background. Fourth law. Always say less than necessary. Words are powerful, but overuse can dilute their impact. Speaking too much or sharing unnecessary details often leads to revealing weaknesses, creating misunderstandings, or diminishing your authority. This law advises restraint in communication, encouraging you to be concise and deliberate in your speech. A carefully chosen statement carries more weight and intrigue than rambling explanations. Silence, when used strategically, can project confidence and control, forcing others to fill the gaps and interpret your intentions as they see fit. The less you say, the less you risk being misinterpreted or giving away information that others can use against you. Fifth law. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Your reputation is the foundation of your power, shaping how others perceive you and how much influence you wield. A strong, positive reputation can open doors, while a tarnished one can destroy opportunities. This law underscores the need to vigilantly protect your image by managing how you are seen by others. When your reputation is under attack, respond swiftly and decisively to preserve it. Simultaneously, you can use reputation as a weapon by subtly damaging the standing of adversaries. Once their credibility is questioned, their influence diminishes, and your position strengthens by contrast. Sixth law. Court attention at all costs. Being ignored is tantamount to being powerless. To gain influence, you must ensure that you are visible and memorable. This law advocates for boldness and calculated provocations to capture attention, as people are drawn to spectacle and charisma. Standing out from the crowd, whether through charm, innovation, or even controversy, establishes you as a figure of importance. However, the attention you attract must serve your purpose. Reckless or inappropriate displays can damage your reputation. Strive to strike a balance between daring actions and strategic self-presentation to remain in the spotlight without compromising your integrity. Seventh law. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. No one achieves greatness alone. Delegation and collaboration are essential to success, but this law emphasizes the importance of ensuring that credit for achievements is attributed to you. By leveraging the skills, resources, and labor of others, you can accomplish more while conserving your energy and focusing on higher-level strategy. Taking credit consolidates your authority and influence, while the contributions of others remain secondary. This approach requires tact and subtlety. Acknowledge the work of others enough to keep them motivated, but position yourself as the driving force behind success. Eighth law. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Control in any interaction often depends on who sets the terms of engagement. Pursuing others, whether for opportunities or relationships, places you in a position of weakness. Instead, create circumstances that compel others to seek you out. This can be achieved by offering incentives, appealing to their desires, or presenting yourself as indispensable. Once others come to you, you dictate the dynamics of the interaction, negotiating from a position of strength. This law emphasizes patience, strategic planning, and the ability to create allure, ensuring that your authority is maintained without appearing desperate or needy. Ninth law. Win through your actions, never through argument. Arguments may prove a point, but they rarely result in lasting victories. Convincing someone through words alone often leads to resentment, as people are naturally defensive when their ideas are challenged. Instead, this law advocates using actions to demonstrate your superiority or prove your point. Actions are more powerful than words and leave less room for debate. By showing rather than telling, you avoid unnecessary conflict and solidify your position through undeniable results. Arguments may win the moment, but actions win the long term. 10th law. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Negativity is contagious. Associating with pessimistic, unlucky, or unhappy individuals can drag you down emotionally, mentally, and even materially. These individuals tend to bring their problems into your life, infecting your outlook and progress. This law advises avoiding such people to protect your own well-being and success. Instead, surround yourself with positive, ambitious, and resourceful individuals who inspire and uplift you. By being selective about your associations, you safeguard your energy and maintain a productive environment. 11th law. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Power is maintained through dependency. When others rely on you for their success, security, or advancement, you retain control over them. This law stresses the importance of creating situations where others cannot function effectively without your input or support. Avoid teaching others everything you know or empowering them to the point where they no longer need you. Instead, make yourself indispensable by being the sole source of something critical to their goals. As long as they depend on you, they will not challenge your authority. 12th law. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Honesty and generosity, when used strategically, can lower your target's defenses and make them more susceptible to manipulation. By demonstrating selective transparency or offering unexpected kindness, you can build trust and create an image of goodwill. Once their guard is down, you gain an advantage, making it easier to achieve your goals. This law does not advocate deceit for its own sake but highlights how well-timed displays of honesty and generosity can be powerful tools for influence and persuasion. 13th law. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. People are more likely to assist you when your request aligns with their own desires or benefits. Appeals to compassion or gratitude often fail, as most people are driven by self-interest. This law advises framing your requests in ways that highlight what the other person stands to gain. By positioning your needs as mutually beneficial, you increase the likelihood of receiving help without resistance. Understanding and appealing to someone's motivations is far more effective than relying on goodwill alone. 14th law. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Information is power. To gain an edge, cultivate the skill of extracting useful knowledge from others without revealing your true intentions. This law suggests adopting the guise of a friend or confidant to gather valuable insights while keeping your own plans concealed. By earning people's trust, you can subtly probe for their weaknesses, ambitions, or strategies. The information you gather can then be used to your advantage, allowing you to outmaneuver opponents or manipulate situations to achieve your goals. 15th law. Crush your enemy totally. Half measures leave room for retaliation. This law advocates for decisively eliminating enemies to prevent them from regaining strength or seeking revenge. When you leave an opponent partially defeated, they may regroup and return stronger, posing a greater threat in the future. By thoroughly neutralizing their power, you ensure they cannot challenge you again. This approach requires clarity of purpose and the willingness to act decisively, even if it seems ruthless. A totally vanquished enemy poses no future risk. 16th law. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Overexposure can breed familiarity, which often leads to a loss of respect or value. This law advises strategically withdrawing from situations or relationships to create a sense of scarcity and importance. When you are absent, people notice your absence and begin to appreciate your value more. By stepping back at key moments, you can amplify your influence and demand attention when you reappear. Absence, when used wisely, heightens interest and solidifies your position as indispensable. 17th law. Keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability breeds complacency, while unpredictability keeps people on edge and unable to anticipate your next move. This law advises cultivating a reputation for unpredictability to keep others off balance. When your actions are difficult to predict, you gain control over situations, as people will tread cautiously around you. Unpredictability can also create fear, as others are unsure how to respond to you. This air of mystery and volatility enhances your power, as it ensures you are always one step ahead. 18th law. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. While physical or emotional isolation may seem like a safe strategy to avoid enemies, it ultimately weakens you by cutting you off from valuable information and alliances. This law warns against the dangers of retreating into isolation, as it leaves you vulnerable to surprise attacks and disconnected from the pulse of society. Instead, surround yourself with a network of allies and remain engaged with the world. Being part of the larger web of human interaction allows you to gather intelligence, anticipate threats, and influence outcomes effectively. 19th law. Know who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. Underestimating or offending the wrong individual can lead to catastrophic consequences. This law stresses the importance of understanding the personalities, motivations, and power dynamics of those around you. Some people are more vengeful or influential than they appear, and provoking them could result in long-term enmity or destruction. Approach every interaction with caution, tailoring your actions and words to suit the temperament of the person involved. By carefully gauging your audience, you can avoid unnecessary conflicts and strengthen your position. 20th law. Do not commit to anyone. Remaining independent from alliances and commitments enhances your flexibility and power. This law advises avoiding binding ties to any single individual, group, or ideology. Commitments can limit your freedom and entangle you in conflicts that are not your own. Instead, position yourself as a neutral party, free to shift allegiances as circumstances demand. This independence allows you to play competing factions against each other while keeping your own goals intact. People will often seek your favor more eagerly when they sense you are unattached and unpredictable. 21st Law. Play a sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than your mark. Underestimating an opponent often leads to carelessness. This law advocates for exploiting this tendency by feigning ignorance or incompetence. By appearing less intelligent or capable than you are, you disarm your target and lull them into a false sense of superiority. This allows you to gather information, gain trust, and position yourself strategically without drawing suspicion. Once you have the advantage, you can act decisively, surprising those who underestimated you and achieving your objectives with ease. 22nd Law. Use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. When faced with an overwhelming adversary, direct confrontation can lead to destruction. This law suggests using surrender as a strategic tool. By yielding temporarily, you can buy time, observe your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and plan your next move. Surrendering strategically allows you to preserve your resources and energy while lulling your adversary into a false sense of security. Over time, you can regain control and use their overconfidence to your advantage. This approach transforms a position of weakness into an opportunity for future strength. 23rd Law. Concentrate your forces. Spreading your efforts and resources too thin often leads to mediocrity or failure. This law emphasizes the importance of focusing on a single goal or area of influence to maximize your impact. By concentrating your forces, whether financial, intellectual, or physical, you can achieve greater results and assert dominance in your chosen domain. Diluting your focus weakens your position and exposes you to unnecessary risks. Success comes from directing all your energy and resources toward a singular, well-defined objective. 24th Law. Play the perfect courtier. The courtier is a master of subtle influence, thriving in hierarchical environments by adapting to the needs and desires of those in power. This law advocates for cultivating the skills of charm, discretion, and diplomacy to navigate complex social dynamics. A perfect courtier knows how to flatter without seeming insincere, how to advise without offending, and how to advance their agenda without appearing opportunistic. This strategy involves mastering the art of indirect persuasion, ensuring you gain influence while maintaining the goodwill of those around you. 25th Law. Recreate yourself. The power to redefine who you are is one of the most important tools for maintaining control over your image and influence. This law emphasizes the need to take charge of your identity, crafting it to suit your ambitions and the perceptions of others. Avoid being confined by societal roles, expectations, or the past. Instead, constantly evolve and adapt to new circumstances, presenting a version of yourself that is compelling and relevant. By mastering this ability, you remain unpredictable and maintain an air of intrigue, ensuring that others cannot easily pin you down or control you. 26th Law. Keep your hands clean. Associating yourself with scandal, failure, or wrongdoing can tarnish your reputation and diminish your influence. This law stresses the importance of maintaining the appearance of integrity and detachment from any unsavory acts. Delegate potentially damaging tasks to others, ensuring that your image remains untarnished. At the same time, if others attempt to implicate you in controversy, deflect the blame subtly onto them. By keeping your hands clean, you project an aura of trustworthiness and authority, which enhances your ability to wield power without opposition. 27th Law. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Humans have an innate desire to believe in something greater than themselves, whether it be an idea, a vision, or a leader. This law advises leveraging that need to create loyalty and devotion. Present yourself as a figure of authority or a source of enlightenment, offering a compelling vision that inspires others. Use rituals, symbols, and carefully chosen words to cultivate a sense of community and purpose. By fulfilling people's psychological need for belief, you establish a powerful following that will support your goals unconditionally. 28th Law. Enter action with boldness. Hesitation and timidity invite failure by signaling uncertainty and lack of confidence. This law emphasizes the importance of boldness in decision-making and action. When you act decisively and with conviction, you inspire confidence in others and gain the upper hand in any situation. Boldness disrupts the plans of adversaries, forcing them to react to your moves rather than making their own. Even in the face of uncertainty, acting boldly can create opportunities and shift the balance of power in your favor. 29th law. Plan all the way to the end. Success requires foresight. This law advises developing a detailed, long-term strategy that accounts for potential obstacles, setbacks, and outcomes. By planning all the way to the end, you minimize the risk of being blindsided by unforeseen events. A well-thought-out plan also ensures that you maintain control over your course of action, making adjustments as needed while keeping your ultimate goal in sight. Avoid improvising in critical moments. Meticulous planning provides clarity, stability, and a sense of inevitability in achieving your objectives. 30th law. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. People admire success but often resent those who appear to struggle to achieve it. This law encourages cultivating an image of effortless mastery. Conceal the hard work, sacrifices, and setbacks that lead to your accomplishments, presenting only the polished final result. This aura of ease not only inspires admiration but also discourages competition, as others believe your success is due to innate talent or luck rather than hard work. By appearing to succeed effortlessly, you maintain an air of superiority and mystique. 31st law. Control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. Power lies in controlling the narrative and setting the terms of engagement. This law advises presenting others with choices that all lead to outcomes favorable to you. By shaping the options available, you create the illusion of freedom while steering people toward decisions that align with your goals. This tactic allows you to maintain control without appearing manipulative, as others believe they are acting independently. The key is to anticipate their desires and fears, tailoring the options to subtly guide them where you want them to go. 32nd law. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often dull and restrictive, making people yearn for dreams and fantasies that promise escape or transformation. This law suggests tapping into those desires by offering visions of a brighter future or a more exciting possibility. By crafting a narrative that aligns with their fantasies, you capture their attention and loyalty. Whether it's the promise of wealth, romance, or glory, the key is to present a vision so alluring that people willingly follow you. However, the fantasy must remain believable enough to sustain their trust while maintaining an air of magic and allure. 33rd law. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a vulnerability that can be exploited if you know where to look. This law emphasizes the importance of understanding what motivates or disturbs others. A thumbscrew is a psychological or emotional pressure point that can make people act in ways that serve your interests. Whether it's an insecurity, a fear, or an intense desire, identifying this point allows you to manipulate situations to your advantage. Once you discover these weak spots, you can use them to influence, control, or outmaneuver others. However, this tactic requires patience, observation, and a keen understanding of human behavior. 34th law. Be royal in your own fashion, act like a king to be treated like one. Your self-image directly influences how others perceive and treat you. If you act with confidence, dignity, and authority, others will respond accordingly. This law advises projecting the aura of royalty not necessarily through actual wealth or power, but through your behavior and mindset. When you carry yourself with the assurance of a ruler, others will treat you as one. By acting like a king, regardless of your actual status, you command respect and instill fear in those around you. This approach creates a sense of grandeur and establishes your position as one that deserves recognition and admiration. 35th law. Master the art of timing. Timing is often the difference between success and failure. This law highlights the importance of waiting for the right moment to act, speak, or make decisions. Those who rush into action without considering timing often create unnecessary problems or miss critical opportunities. Conversely, waiting for the right moment to strike can lead to overwhelming success. This law encourages patience, observation, and a deep understanding of the rhythm of events. The ability to sense the perfect time for action gives you a significant advantage over others who are less attuned to the natural flow of things. 36th law. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. The act of longing for something unattainable can make you seem weak, desperate, or frustrated. This law advocates that when something is beyond your reach, the best strategy is to show indifference toward it. By disdaining things you cannot have, you assert control over your emotions and project an image of superiority. If you continuously yearn for what you cannot attain, you risk losing respect or being perceived as helpless. Instead, showing that you can ignore what you desire positions you as someone who is above petty cravings and firmly in control of their desires. 37th law. Create compelling spectacles. People are drawn to drama, beauty, and the extraordinary. This law suggests using spectacle and visual appeal to capture attention and leave a lasting impression. By crafting grand displays, you ensure that others are both mesmerized and awed, which increases your power and influence. Spectacles don't necessarily have to be flashy or extravagant, they should evoke strong emotions, whether it's awe, fear, or admiration. These emotional responses create a sense of mystique around you, allowing you to shape the way others perceive you and cement your status in their minds. 38th law. Think as you like, but behave like others. While maintaining your inner beliefs and opinions is essential, it's equally important to adapt your outward behavior to fit in with those around you. This law emphasizes the power of social conformity. Acting like others is a way to blend in and avoid standing out for the wrong reasons. By mirroring the behavior of those in power or the dominant group, you can avoid drawing unwanted attention to yourself and appear more relatable. This law doesn't suggest compromising your values, but it advocates for the strategic use of behavior to gain acceptance and avoid unnecessary conflict. 39th law. Stir up waters to catch fish. In turbulent or chaotic situations, there is opportunity. This law advises you to create confusion and disruption in order to manipulate the outcome in your favor. When things are unsettled, people are less focused and more likely to make mistakes, which you can then exploit. By stirring up the waters, you create a situation where others are uncertain, and this uncertainty gives you an advantage. This tactic works especially well in competitive environments, as it makes it difficult for rivals to act decisively or predict your next move. 40th law. Despise the free lunch. Nothing comes without a cost, and accepting something for nothing can place you in a vulnerable or indebted position. This law warns against relying on the generosity or favors of others, as it often leads to a loss of independence. When someone offers something for free, they may be subtly positioning themselves to gain something from you in return. By refusing to accept the free lunch, you maintain control over your actions and avoid becoming indebted. This law also encourages the mindset of self-reliance and self-sufficiency, as depending on others for handouts weakens your position and puts you at risk of exploitation. 41st law. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Attempting to follow in the footsteps of a great predecessor can lead to a host of problems. This law advises against trying to fill the shoes of someone who has already built a powerful legacy. Doing so often invites unfavorable comparisons and sets unrealistic expectations. People are more likely to focus on how you measure up to the former leader than on your own abilities. Instead, create your own path and identity. By avoiding direct comparison, you allow yourself the freedom to succeed on your own terms, gaining respect for your originality rather than being overshadowed by the legacy of someone before you. 42nd law. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In any organization or group, there are usually key individuals who hold influence and control over others. This law advises targeting the leader or the central figure in a group if you wish to dismantle it. Removing the source of authority causes confusion and disarray within the ranks, as followers lack direction and purpose without their leader. Striking the shepherd doesn't necessarily mean physical harm, but rather neutralizing the leader's power or influence, which will cause the group to lose its cohesion. This tactic is particularly effective when dealing with hostile rivals or when trying to weaken an opposing force. 43rd law. Work on the hearts and minds of others. To truly gain power and influence, you must appeal to people on an emotional level. Logic and reason alone rarely change minds or win loyalty. This law stresses the importance of winning over the hearts and minds of others by understanding their desires, fears, and motivations. Emotional connections create lasting bonds, and when you can make people feel understood and valued, they become more receptive to your influence. By speaking to their emotions and aligning your goals with their desires, you secure a powerful base of support that will follow you through challenges. 44th Law. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror effect involves mimicking the behavior and attitude of others to disarm them or make them uncomfortable. By mirroring someone's gestures, tone, or mannerisms, you subtly unnerve them and make them feel exposed. This tactic can be both disarming and infuriating, as it causes people to question their own actions and perceptions. The mirror effect works because people are drawn to others who are similar to them, but when they see their own behavior reflected back at them, they are caught off guard. This technique can be used to manipulate situations, weaken opponents, or gain an advantage in negotiations or confrontations. 45th Law. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People are naturally resistant to change, especially when it feels too sudden or overwhelming. This law advocates for introducing change gradually and strategically, presenting it as necessary for progress without making it feel like a complete overhaul. While it is important to preach the need for change, attempting to reform too much too quickly can create fear, confusion, and resistance. By implementing change in smaller, manageable steps, you avoid alienating those who are uncomfortable with drastic shifts. This strategy also gives people time to adapt, reducing the likelihood of backlash and increasing the chances of successful reform. 46th Law. Never appear too perfect. Perfection can be intimidating, and it often leads to envy or resentment from others. This law warns against projecting an image of flawlessness, as it creates distance between you and those around you. When you appear too perfect, people may see you as unattainable or unrelatable, and they may begin to undermine you or feel uncomfortable around you. By showing some vulnerability or imperfection, you make yourself more human and approachable. This allows others to feel more connected to you and less inclined to feel threatened by your success. Appearing imperfect also makes you seem more adaptable and capable of growth, enhancing your influence. 47th Law. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Overreaching or pushing too far after achieving success can lead to ruin. This law advises knowing when to stop and consolidating your victory rather than risking everything by going beyond your goal. When you achieve a certain objective, it's easy to get swept up in the momentum and attempt to push for even greater success. However, this often leads to overextension and mistakes that undo the progress made. Knowing when to stop and enjoy your success is a mark of wisdom and self-control. By recognizing the appropriate moment to conclude your efforts, you preserve your gains and ensure long-term success. 48th Law. Assume formlessness. Rigid structures and fixed patterns make you predictable and vulnerable. This final law advises adopting formlessness in both your actions and strategies, allowing you to adapt to any situation with ease. When you assume formlessness, you become unpredictable and difficult to pin down, which enhances your power and flexibility. This strategy involves shifting and evolving as needed, avoiding being trapped in a set mode of behavior. Whether in business, politics, or personal relationships, the ability to remain fluid and responsive to change enables you to navigate challenges without being constrained by past decisions or limitations. Conclusion. Imagine wielding the power to influence, manipulate, and control the course of events around you with just your words, actions, and presence. In the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene unlocks the secrets of power dynamics that have shaped history, from ancient monarchies to modern corporate empires. Drawing on timeless strategies used by the world's greatest leaders, military commanders, and thinkers, Greene provides a masterclass in understanding human behavior, manipulation, and the art of persuasion. This book is not just about gaining power, it's about understanding the forces at play in every interaction and using them to your advantage. Each of the 48 laws is a weapon, honed over centuries of strategic thinking, designed to help you navigate the complex maze of human relationships, whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, leading a team, or simply seeking to gain influence in your everyday life. But the 48 Laws of Power isn't just about playing nice, it's a ruthless and pragmatic guide to outsmarting opponents, mastering social dynamics, and achieving success. From subtle psychological tricks to bold, audacious moves, Greene teaches you how to outwit your rivals and become an irresistible force in any situation. If you're ready to learn how power works and how to command it, then this book will show you the way, whether you want to dominate or simply thrive in a world where power is the ultimate currency. If you enjoyed the summary, then like the video and subscribe to Audiobooks Vault. Tell us if there is any other book you want us to summarize. Goodbye.